this thing real quick then. Let's get this screen share rolling here. All right, fellas. So, like Coach said, tonight what we're going to be talking about, is the way we teach our RPO process, right? Like, how do we teach this? It's one thing to get the scheme dialed up and to make it look nice on the whiteboard, right? But at the end of the day, it's not about what we know as coaches. We all know it's about what the kids know, right? What we can teach them, right? That's why coaching is teaching, and teaching is coaching. So, again, like Coach said, my name is Tim Souza. The pass game coordinator, wide receiver coach, special teams coordinator at Rocky Mountain High School in Boise, Idaho. Privileged to work with the U.S. national team as well. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is take a look at what we sent out to our U16 select national teams, essentially. Coach Hazel, I see you requesting to remote control my screen. I'm going to decline that, big dog. I'm going to decline that, okay? All right, cool. So a little bit about where we've been. Like I said, that's where I'm at right now. I've been privileged to work with the U.S. national team at regional camps, national high school training camps, and I was I'm getting all these notifications, fellas. I'm sorry. Zoom US. All right, cool. Coach G, I'm hollering at you real quick. Are you controlled?
Yeah, no, Coach Hazel didn't mean to request that. That was a mistake.
It's all good. It's all good, man. All right, just didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I got you. I appreciate that. We're good,
no,
Coach.
It's all good, man. No, we're good. Cool. So at the last two national high school training camps for the U.S. national team was a summer event. It's a five-day camp where we bring kids out. It's essentially a college fall camp model where kids are in the dorms. We're in the film room meeting. We're going out to practice 2 times a day, meeting pre and post practice. Kids are eating in the cafeteria. And we've used this model here in this film playlist I'll share with you after the slideshow to install just the skeleton of what an RPO system and process would look like. This last January, I was blessed with the opportunity to be the head coach of the U.S. national team's U16 select team. I was the head coach, offensive coordinator, and the quarterbacks coach. And what you're about to see, the presentation that we're going to run right now, is a beefed up version of what we sent those quarterbacks that played for us, the 2 kids that played for us for that U16 select team. And these were 15-year-old kids that are in their freshman year of high school. And so what we sent them is what you're going to see. I dressed it up a little bit to make it a little bit more seamless for a clinic presentation, but this is what we're giving our quarterbacks. And this is the same process, the same instructional model that we're using to teach them is what we're going to go through with you all tonight. All right, so let's get this thing rolling. So just talking about RPOs, this is our quarterbacks pre-snap process. And how we developed this process is kind of this journey of what we've done with run pass option football. In 2011 was my first season as a full-time varsity assistant at Eagle High School. We had a phenomenal group that year, and we started dabbling a little bit with some pre-snap access stuff, just throwing a gift, a little 4-step speed out into the boundary on the backside of our run concepts if it was there. We used some jet sweep with the fast screen package backside. We had some spread triple concepts. So envision jet sweep goes, veer action with the back and quarterback read and give, keep off the end, and then using the jet man on a bubble or a swing as his pitch man. We were using those, what people are calling run pass options, but to us, I just kind of call that, spread triple or extended triple option. That year we lost in the state final. 2012 and 2013, we actually didn't have an H-back or a fullback type body. And we carried some ISO concepts, and we didn't have a dude that could go through the A gap or B gap and isolate on an inside linebacker, hit him in the mouth, and win that one-on-one. So they say that necessity is the father of innovation, right? So we said, well, what if we don't block that dude? What if we put the ball in the belly of the back and just look at him and say, okay, you're going to come down and play the run. We're going to throw a route that replaces you. And that was 2012. 2013, and we started dabbling with it, and we were in the state quarterfinals both years that year. I moved on to another spot in 2014. We didn't really have a quarterback in the program, but we had a point guard. And so we started using some stuff that looked a lot like Rich Rodriguez at Arizona, where it was, reading the end on zone read and then pulling the ball and coming out and not having a pitch guy or a bubble guy, but we'd actually throw downfield routes. We'd throw stick, we'd throw flood. What you're seeing a lot with slide screen now from teams, we're doing some of that stuff just because it was fast break on grass for us with a quarterback who was a point guard, not a quarterback. That year, we actually had as many wins in 2014 as that program had in 2012 and 2013 combined. So we found ourselves with a little bit of success and qualified for a Kansas City tiebreaker to get that last playoff spot. And that was moving up a classification. And so that was big time for us. In 2015, we just said, we're all in on this stuff. We are all in on RPO. We're going to try to develop this process to allow us to read anybody. We want to make defenses wrong. We can read, midline, read a 3 technique. We can read a D end, but we can also read a Mike. We can read a Sam. We can read an invert safety. And so we started to really say, okay, we can throw downfield from the cup, throw them from the spot. We can read an end and get out on the edge and throw some of these downfield routes. We made it to the state quarterfinals in 15, state semifinals in 2017 and 19, and we won a state championship in 2018, running some of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you on film. And like I said, in 2020, this January, we installed this system and this teaching process with a bunch of 15-year-old kids, and we only had 6 practices to do it. Now, I sent this presentation out to the quarterbacks about a month ahead, and I had some quizzes that I built, and we can talk about that after we get through the tape. But I had the quarterbacks go through this stuff ahead of time before we got together, and then once we got together, it was full tilt boogie, and we were installing this thing, and with a bunch of 15-year-old kids that were freshmen in high school, 6 practices, we put up 41 points. We were over 400 yards offense and 254 yards rushing. And I always emphasize with the quarterbacks, look, man, RPO, run, pass option. We want to run the football. And we did that effectively with that group that we had. And we came up short. And we lost to a really good Panama team. They made a play with under a minute left in the end zone on 4th and goal to put us away. But we had a really successful offensive showing that day. And we did this in 6 practices, man. So let's talk about what do we want to accomplish each RPO snap. Each RPO snap, we want to run the football, right? One of our biggest RPO downs is 1st and 10, most of the time because we see base structure on 1st and 10, right? But we want to run the football, and we use the RPO, and Brent Dearman at Kansas does a phenomenal job explaining how your quarterback's job is just to fix it, right? If something presents a problem for our run system, then just fix it, and we have the routes and the tools for him to be able to do that. And that's why we always say, the quarterbacks have the keys. We give the quarterbacks the keys of this thing. We build the car, but they got the keys. We want to force the defense to defend the whole width of the field, right? 53 1/3 yards. We can segment the defense with the different phases of RPO that we have, and we're increasing the touches. We are getting a ton of dudes touches. Our tailback's getting touches. Our quarterback will keep the ball, and we're getting 3, 4 receivers involved. And
Hold on one second.
the 3 phases we use pre-snap access. Yep.
No, you just you had froze for a second.
Okay. So you got me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So 3 phases. We got pre-snap access. We have our run frame, right? Just what we're talking about, the run frame, the offensive line is blocking the run play, and maybe the H-back or fullback is involved or a tight end's involved, but the run play is the run play. That's the run frame for us. And then we have our post-snap read if we need to fix anything, right? We want to make the defense pay for getting an extra hat to the fit, right? If they can get an extra hat to the fit, we got to make them pay because we don't want to lose that numbers game. And we got to know how many do we have to block within the run frame. Do we have 5 to block 5, 6 to block 6? And we need to find the +1. We identify the +1. And if they try to get that +1 to the box, we got to make them pay with that post-snap or pre-snap fix, right? And this can still be effective with 7 or 8 men in the run frame, right? You could be in 21 or 12 personnel and still have a phenomenal RPO structure. There's a lot of teams that are doing it. And if you got 2 tight ends, man, 12 personnel RPO is a mother to defend. So now we got to put somebody in conflict. That's what else we want to accomplish. Who are we going to read? And we can change that read defender based on our blocking scheme And based on our defensive structure that we're facing, like if we know they're an invert safety team and they're playing some sort of robber where they want to invert, okay, that's going to be our conflict defender. If their adjuster or their nickel Sam is the guy that wants to come in and squeeze inside an apex and be that extra fitter, we're going to read him, right? We can handle, a Willie backer to the boundary and like a college 4-3 structure. If he's trying to go fit the B gap, we handle him with other things. So we want to, at the end of the day, and this is the last on this slide, is we want to give the quarterback the pen, right? As coaches, we always talk about, well, whoever holds the pen last wins, right? Because I could go draw something, and you draw something, and then I'm going to draw something else, right? At the end of the day, I'm just going to hand my quarterback the pen, right? And that can only happen if we teach effectively and you equip your quarterback with fixes, right? You can't just give some kid who hasn't, who's 12 years old, can't see over the steering wheel, the keys to your car. You've got to teach them. You've got to train them. You've got to equip them, and then say, all right, you're ready. Let's roll. Okay. Now here's how we teach this, right? We teach and we create a teachable process. There's an operating system that they work within, right? All systems have rules. Without rules, the system falls apart. And so we always tell our quarterbacks, look, man, your rules will make you right. And so we want to be stepwise. We want to be progressive and sequential in nature, right? There's a progression to this thing. There's a sequence. It has steps. There's steps to this, and we can't skip steps in the process, right? We try to chunk this process, and all my teachers out there will understand, right? Chunking the process into simple, manageable tasks, right? And I think two of my favorite guys on the offensive side of the ball right now, Brent Dearman and PJ Fleck, those guys are both trained educators. Brent Dearman was a high school math teacher. PJ Fleck was a sixth grade social science teacher, right? And they understand that concept of scaffolding and chunking these complex issues into simple tasks. And I read it a while back. It was in 2015. I was reading a book on leadership, and it was a Navy SEALs principle of micro goals. Navy SEALs don't go into a mission and jump out of a helicopter and think about the last thing that they have to do to secure the mission, right? They think about what's next. Okay, once I get through that micro goal, what's next? And we try to structure this the same way. And so that's like an order of operations, right? It's like math. It's got to be repeatable. There has to be an order of operations, or our SOP, standard operating procedures. And the biggest thing is you must teach them why, right? If a kid understands why a certain defender makes us need to pull the ball and get it out, or they understand why we're programming or giving them a specific route concept is in their read in to fix this issue. Okay, we are running this route to take that space because this guy's the extra fitter. Okay, coach, I get it. And they start to understand that, and they can take ownership once they understand why. That's how you really give them the pen, once they understand why. And so as long as we can get all of those things accomplished, this process becomes second nature. And we almost want to make it as natural as breathing for us, right? And so here is the process. And something else I stole from that same book I referenced about micro goals is tying each step to our breath, right? Because sometimes when we get in the heat of battle, right, our heart rate goes up, our breathing rate goes up, and that's when things start to run away from us, right? And we try to tie our process and the steps of the process to our breaths. And we want to be able to stay controlled. If we can control our breathing, we can control our arousal, and then the game slows down, right? So breath one, I'm checking my gift or my access side. That's my away side. That's away from the run play, right? And then I'm checking the box, okay? And now I got to digress here for a second. If the gift or the access is open, nothing else matters to me. I take that first breath. I look over, I've got my gift, I start my cadence, and I snap the dang football, okay? Now, if I look over and I've got somebody taking away my access or my gift, now that means we've removed somebody from the box to the away side. So it's, I count the box, okay, we have 5 days. I need to and where I need to find my read. So in that third breath, it's, I've found my read. Then I'm going to, after I've snapped the football, I'm looking to win with numbers, leverage, and grass. And I see that access pre-snap. But if I can tie that process to my breath one, step one, breath two, step two, breath three, step three, snap the ball, and we got to go play, okay? So if we look at this thing, okay, so big picture, right? Big picture, super simple concept, okay? So this would be like day one install stuff for us, okay? So if we're talking about what we use with the U16 national team, right? For us, this would have been our deuce, and this would have been two laser bend. R deuce, two laser bend. And I got one coach signaling R deuce, and I got another signaling two laser bend. Okay. And so we're getting this in quickly and we're moving fast. Our access side, right? Our access side is the away side, and we've got a triangle around this corner. Okay. Here's our run frame. Here's our read, right? This is a lot to look at. This is a lot to look at. So we take the big picture and we break it down with the process. Okay. Breath one. This corner is off. He's above 6 yards. Okay, and he's inside leverage. I think my guy can win. Nothing else matters. I'm going to, after breath one, I got access, ready, set, hut. Snap the ball, let's go to work. If we don't like that, whether it's a personnel matchup or it's a
Hold on 1 minute, y'all.
snap, and that's where the post snap read comes in. Okay, so now I know in a base 4-2-5 structure, this nickel is going to be the force player who could get his hat into the run fit. And if he does, I know that I've got this glance post from the slot, and we just tell this glance, look, you're running it off the man over you. You got to get 2 yards inside them. If they cap us, we've got to snap it flatter, and we just got to flatten to get 2 yards inside this dude. If he takes this away and my post snap read triggers and tells me I got to throw the ball, that's great, because now I'm going to come hit this fin in this 5 yard in if that free safety takes away my glance. Okay, so now there we go. We've just gone through the process. We took the complex, we made it simple. Now, again, this would be same formation, okay, R deuce. Now this is one laser glance, one laser glance. So we now know the away side, since we call one laser, that's odd, we're going left. Okay, glance, that tells us we're running the glance post here. That means we've got a 2 receiver access side, and an easy base rule for 2 receiver access side is just to run a key one or quick screen. Now, again, this is a big picture. This is complicated. So we just break it down. Breath one, step one, do I have gift and access? When we have a quick screen or a key screen, anything out here in the screen game, we use what we call our screen frame. Our screen frame begins 5 yards inside the number 2 receiver, 5 yards inside the number 2 receiver, and it gets to 7 yards of depth, the hard deck, right? We make our hard deck base rule 7 yards. Now we just count. I know I got 2 receivers to my access side. How many defenders do they have in the screen frame? Now, I muddied this up on purpose, right? Because with an apex guy, you got to decide, is he in, is he out, right? This corner in, the safety is. So this is step one. That's simple for us. Again, I've got 6 because it's zone or ISO, right? And I got to know where I need to fix it. Where's that extra hat going to fit from? And if they're a sky invert, okay, asking that boundary safety to get down into the fit and be that force run support player, if he triggers off the hash, here's our glance post. And it's the exact same steps and it's the exact same rules as we ran it from the slot. Just last concept, right? Now we're just running it from the number 1 receiver. The man over him is the corner, and he's just got to get 2 yards inside that dude to win. Okay, and that's how we fix it. So let's do this. All right, well, I'll pull up. We'll go through some steps, and I'll show you some screenshots here. Okay, step 1, the gift. RPO pre-snap process, step number 1, breath number 1. Okay, now we're in a trio set, right? And we've got an off corner. Okay, he's at what looks like 6. He's going to pedal. His eyes are inside. His leverage is inside. We think we can win on this. Let's go. We're going to catch the ball and throw it. Okay, now something we use to help give our quarterbacks an idea of when we are looking to take that access and give them something that's more concrete other than just him saying, well, I thought I could complete the ball, so I threw it out there. We try to make it a little bit more concrete. So we talk about gift side triangles. And the triangle is the receiver running the gift, the corner over him, and the first, second, or third level player inside of him. And we say, if you got a big triangle, right, you got a soft corner and that linebacker's in the box, we like that. Go take that thing. Okay. Another example of a big triangle would be a walk up, right? If we get a walk up on the away side and he's at the line of scrimmage, if he's an end man on the line of scrimmage or he's walked up off the edge, even if he triggers and bails on the snap, he's not getting underneath this ball. And the reason we throw the speed out and not a hitch is because if we miss, we just miss outside. We tell him, look, if you miss outside. You throw the dang thing out of bounds and we'll line up and we'll snap the ball again, okay? So we never leave it inside. We're always looking to put our guy on the ball and immediately goes out of bounds, because on 1st and 10, if you get a 6 or 7 yard completion, it's 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. Your whole playbook's open, so we love that, right? So big triangle, we got this. Now, the triangle shrinks if the corner comes down to press us down here, right? So the triangle just shrunk. Now, as the triangle shrinks, we don't like it as much, but we do have an adjustment against hard and press corners. We are going to convert that speed out to a vertical. And if he's got no safety help, if he doesn't have anybody here, right, none of his buddies are backing him up right here, and we like this personnel matchup, let's go. Catch the ball, and we'll throw it, and we'll go win that. It's not a 50-50 ball in our eyes. It's an 80-20 ball. The wideout's going to go win that thing, right? If not, we're not throwing it, okay? Now, this is an example of a triangle that got really small. This triangle is minuscule, right? And no, we don't like this. But what did that just do to them? This cat stepping out here to provide some sort of under coverage, he's out of the box. He's out of the fit. He's going to be late to the fit. He cannot fit anything in our run frame, okay? So here's another look at how we adjust, right? You've got a corner that's at 6 or 7 off and inside. He's pedaling. We're green light on that vertical. We have some teams that like to play press bail. Some guys that'll line up and play press bail, but we know that through our scouting report, right? We know that when our receivers come to the sideline after a possession, they come up to me right away. Hey, coach, I'm getting press bail when I run the gift. It's still there. He's bailing on the snap. He's giving me his hip. I got it. And so now we'll come to it. We still like that. Okay, so if he shows something hard and he's press bailing out of there, we still like it, but we have to communicate that. And fortunately, in high school, we've got the sideline video so we can look at it. Okay, now, if we get a hard corner, like I just said, that's going to play hard, and he's going to be pressed and stay pressed, now we got to take that thing vertical. And again, if he doesn't have help and we like that matchup, again, scouting report, film study, KYP, know your personnel. If you like it, take it. If he is hard, he's at 4 yards and his butt to the right, do a whole hammers arms and go inside, depending on the right. But again, that's probably going to take that thing away. But these are our conversion rules for our wideouts, and our quarterback's got to know that. Okay, so again, here's gift and access. There's that screen frame that we talked about, right? 7 yards of depth, 5 yards inside the number 2 receiver. If they got nobody in that box, we really like it. If they got one guy in that box, we really like it. If they got 2 in that box, we're going to be able to win somewhere else. Okay, so again, here's a look. We got a couple green lights and a couple red lights. We don't like those. Another easy access concept you guys can use, what we use with our receivers at International Bowl, just because when you get young receivers, you don't necessarily know that they're going to be able to be equipped to block in the screen game. So your numbers may not matter, right? We only get 6 practices, so we might not be able to get them fully dialed in on stock blocking the way we need it. We just ran hitches, right? And the inside guy here is running a 3-step hitch, and the outside guy's running a 5-step hitch. And you just pick your leverage point. If you think you got it, take it. And through this times in the International Bowl game. We can also tag slants, and I'll show you a couple other things that we do when we get to the film. All right, second breath. So we've got count the box. Our U16 base run schemes we used Indy, which was lock zone or ISO, right? And we were reading what we call the deuce. I'll get into those identifiers here in just a second. Okay, we ran dagger, which was duo, basically. It was just veer. Okay, so those are our 5 to block 5 schemes. Read a second level player or linebacker, read a first level end man on line of scrimmage. 6 to block 6, again, laser is the same as Indy to the O-line, the exact same. We're just inserting or leading with an H-back now, right? And duo is the exact same as dagger or veer, okay, or duo. We're just now going to kick out the end, okay, base block the end, or split flow, slice the end. And now we've got 6 to block 6, and we're going to read the queen, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. So again, count the box. We use the terms read to run. Read to run. So if we are +1, if we got 5 and they got 5, our back makes 6. We're +1. We are read to run. We're expecting to hand the ball off unless they cause us a problem post snap. right? If we are -1, so they've got 6 and we've got 5 to block 6, we are read to throw because that cat could line up there and he could bail out of the box, or he could stand flat-footed. And if he just stands flat-footed at 4 yards, we're going to hand the ball off and let our back go be an athlete and try to win that, okay? And we'll take 4 yards. 2nd and 6 ain't bad, right? This would be 5 to block 7, right? We're in a 10 personnel set. They've got 7 in the box. We're going to say kill to the running back. Okay, we're going to say kill. It just becomes now 60 or 6-man protection with a half slide. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and take care of ourselves and these number issues we have with a throw, right? Our best leverage throw is clearly right here to that uncovered dude. Okay, again, 6 to block 8, we got to kill it to throw it. All right, now our third breath, we're going to go to the read. Now, we use code words to identify who the quarterback's reading. This does 2 things for us. It alerts the offensive line to who the quarterback is handling. Don't block this dude, okay? And then it's a mental reminder for the quarterback, too. When he says that code word, he has already identified that dude. And so we already know, look, that's who I'm reading. So it's another check and another reminder for the quarterback. And as a quarterback's coach, standing behind the quarterback during a team session, during a team run period, right? And you hear him say the wrong code word, you know he's off. You know he's wrong. You don't even need to wait for them to snap the ball, okay? And don't waste a snap with him reading the wrong dude. We can fix it. All right? So we use 3 categories of code words. We use playing cards, right? And this is the only family we use with U16. Again, we had 15-year-old freshmen in high school and 6 practices. So we used ace, king, queen, jack, joker, deuce, right? Those all mean something. Now we can go cars, right? Acura, Cadillac, Nova, Jag, Jeep, Dodge, right? And we can do coaches, Art, Kreiner, Q, Jack, James, Domini, right? We can do all this, right? And so we just code it up. Now the best part is these are also the same code words we use in our pass pro. So if we're going 50 pro, you're going to hear the same exact code word that you would hear when that Mike, who is being handled by the O-line, and then the Will, who is on the quarterback, you got to throw hot off of him, right? 4 down on the Mike and 50 protection, and we're still going to identify that Will with the same code word we use in the RPOs. So it's fine for us, right? If it's full slide protection, we're going to use the same code word for the end man on the line of scrimmage. So the offensive line knows who they're not touching. So you don't necessarily get a beat on us by knowing our code words. All right, so here's the grand scheme of the code word identification, right? We talk about it in even front, odd front. We talk about the structures. Conflict player is who we handle pre-snap. The ace is who most teams would be IDing as the Mike point, right? We talk about the ace, and he's the Mike point for us. The deuce would be the guy that we're going to leave in 50 protection and leave in our lock zone structure for the most part, right? And we can call this either way. And then king is our end man on the line of scrimmage. On top of the king is the queen. On top of the queen, jack. And then the joker is on the other side from the jack. Anytime got a zeroed up or a dotted Mike who's aligned over the center, we're going to call ace in the hole, okay? Now, in an odd structure, this is what we get, okay? We see quite a bit of odd stack. So the queen just moved into the box. The queen, she went from the adjuster, the overhang, the apex player, to now the call stop. Right now, teams are going to be inverting, right? And now that jack from our defense at home. So we've got to make sure we've got identifiers for them as well. Okay, so this is what it would look like for us if we were getting a deuce read, right? A deuce read is a fill player. He's got to fit in the box. He has an in-the-box run fit responsibility. If you look at the top, we don't really like that screen frame because they got 2 over 2. So we're going to read that deuce if he fits the box when we put the ball in the belly of the back. Okay, we're going to try to win on the seam, okay, and try to throw it just like hitch seam or fin seam, okay, in your quick game. And we're going to try to hit that window shot, that second level throw with the 2 ball. Now we don't have to worry about an inside linebacker jumping up and getting hands on it because we know he's fitting the run. Okay, now we can also go ahead and read first level players. Now I know this is a lot of pictures in one, right? But this is extended triple option I was talking about, right? So we're reading the end man on line of scrimmage for give keep. Okay, we're going to come out and block these 2 dudes with these 2 wideouts, and we're going to slide screen, slip out our wing. In this one, he started on the opposite side. So it looks like split zone, and now he's slipping out, and we're throwing him the slide screen if that end crashes, okay? Now, here's a queen read, 6-on-6 in the box. We don't like, they've inverted the safety now to take away the gift. We've hit that a few times. They've got a 4-2 structure in the box. Here is their adjuster, their nickel Sam. Okay, he could be my problem to the run fit. He makes 7, and we only have 6 to block it. So he's our queen read. Okay, and again, a queen read is how we define a player that is outside the box. We can read, if we've got 5 and they've got 5, this is still the queen because he's outside the king. Okay, got to clarify that. All right, that's a jack read right here. This is a good look at a jack read. I'll just run this real quick. Good. Safeties are on different levels. Tells you who might be rocking, who's rolling. Okay. Now again, there's the glance. If he's going to come be that extra fitter in the box, okay, go ahead and pull that ball. Get 2 yards inside the man over you on who is the corner in this situation and drill that. Okay. We want to complete that about 12 on the hash. All right. 2v2, no access here. 6 versus 8. We've got 6. They've got 8. Okay, now that jack safety's down here in the box. We've got to make sure we can make them pay. All right, last one. Let's talk numbers, leverage, grass. Once we get through this, fellas, we're going to jump right to the film. Okay, look at all this green grass we've got right here. Okay, if they want to go no safeties high, because we're now in the red zone and that activates whatever it activates for them schematically, and they want to stop the run, no safety high, just pull the ball out and win the grass, right? We've got a bang post on out there. We're pushing, running push motion out here, and they've got a corner boxing us inside leverage who's going to bail. He can't even see because his back's turned, right? And they want to be this heavy in the box, and it's 1 to block 1, and we get our best athlete in space with the ball. We're going to go win with open grass. Same thing here, right? They've got 2 on the overhang. They brought 2 off the edge. Our quarterback pulls the ball, retreats, and delivers to our H-back right there. So let's jump into the film, right? Just a lot of the screenshots you saw are going to come to life here. But before we do that, I want to just address something that bothers me, right? A lot of people talk about, hey, RPO football is soft, right? You can't be physical running a run pass option system. You're looking to not block people. We're looking to block people. We tell our receivers that as soon as they see the ball handed off, they are no longer pass catchers. They have just become blockers, right? And that's how we make 4-yard runs turn into 25-yard runs, is our wide receivers blocking. And that's a big point of pride for us, right? Now, this is in 2017. So in this clip, this was illegal, right? This would be illegal now because of the rule changes. However, we still want to be violent, right? And our running back's going to finish this run violently. The violence is a mentality, right? Your scheme doesn't dictate physicality when physicality is a choice, right? So that bothers me now. And I can't sit here and say RPO, run pass option, we want to run the football, right? And just show you a bunch of clips of us pulling and throwing the ball because that's sexy, right? This is actually pretty sexy to me. If you think about, we're in the state title game here, right? And we're backed up and we come out and we've got trips open. We're running a bang stick concept out here with a bang post on top of a bubble and a stick by 3, right? Looking to segment the defense. We got GT counter in here, 5 to block 5, and we've got our gift concept out here. Now, again, run pass option, they have committed 4 to this segment. They've committed 5 to this segment with a potential 6th, but we think he's out of it right now. Okay. And so they've got 2 over 1 out here. He's late to the party with a weird fit here. He gets kicked. That corner had to widen, right? And now there's a dude who was a freshman All-American honorable mention kid at the University of Idaho. But what I really love is this wide receiver running him down, right, and finishing. And then our first 4 guys to the party are all wide out to celebrate. All right, so now let's go through it. RPO process, step number 1, we are thinking gift. Okay, the gift is down here to the bottom of the screen. Like it, yes or no? Yes, you bet your butt. Okay, it's 2nd and 9. He's off and inside with no under coverage help. Okay, 2nd and 9, left, right ball, 4-step speed out. Okay, we get 6. It's 3rd and 3 now. All right, we like that. That's manageable. Okay, again, like I said, 1st and 10 is a big time RPO down for us for most teams, I would estimate, because again, that's when you get base plan, base structure for the most part, right? Off and inside, here's a check with me here. We like it. We kept it on 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw it as he's breaking, lead him to the outside. Now we just got 7. It's 2nd and 3 in the state. What was that? Quarterfinals that year. Okay, now here we go. We are looking at 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, we've got a run call on. They've gone to a lock or a solo concept here, right? You can see the safeties and secondary players they've committed over here. The box is 4-2. We start in an open structure and just reload our H, right? And we're going to run GT counter with a backside cutoff. But watch what it does to this corner right here. Okay, this corner's got eyes on the gift. We've been throwing the gift, and even though that makes us bounce, right? Even though we have to bounce right here, he's out of position, and now we can just go to work. Safety takes a bad angle coming from the field, right? And you let your dude be a dude, but dudes are even better dudes when they've got less bad guys they got to worry about, right? So now we'll talk about access to the top. Look at the stack, right? Imagine that line, 5 yards inside the number 2, 7 yards of depth. Okay, we've got our quick concept, our stack screen on. They got nobody in the box. Okay, again, 1st and 10. Get it out there, block most dangerous, and we don't even do a great job blocking it up, but we get 12, right? First, that's an extension of our run game, right? And now we can just go speed and copy the play and go run it again and get on somebody's toes. Okay, again, here we go. Check into the stack. They got snap frame. One dude in the screen frame. Here we go. This was actually post-snap side, but still it's access, right? He could have pulled that and put it out there without putting the ball in the belly of the back. Okay, again, we're looking at access to the field now. So we go FIB, right? Trio into the boundary. They got no safety help, and they've got a corner off and soft. We can hand signal out there a slant to our dude, right? I'll show you a couple other change-ups that we've got too, right? But we just put that dude on a slant and say, all right, let's go to work. It was 3rd and 7. We just got 16. It's 1st and goal on the 3. Okay, another access slant here. So we're right middle here, right? And so we get our up and win inside. Okay, just running cutoff zone or duo right there, fellas. He catches the ball, makes one dude miss, and he gets to the hut, right? So it's simple stuff. It's simple stuff. And this is all just the access side, right? That was all just the access side. We've put our guys on whips where we go slant and pivot back out. We put our guys on returns where we run the gift and then return back inside. We got hand signals for all that. Okay, so step 1 of our RPO process right here. No gift. We have no gift. They've got under coverage here, and there's a corner outside the frame here. You can't see them. Okay, let's look at the box. And you already saw this screenshot in the presentation, but we've got 5 to block 5. That means we are reading to run. We're thinking about a give here. He could make us wrong, right? But by alignment, we've got a pretty good idea. He's committed out here, right? So let's go to work. 5 to block 5, and that's a chunk play, right? That's 12 yards on a simple lock zone or ISO concept, right? Again, looking at a 10 personnel, 5 to block 5 situation, dude that's uncovered, because they've got to defend the width. If they want to stack the box, we just make them pay. Okay, we're going to go ahead. You've seen it before. Reload our H. Okay, we're in here. We've got 6 to block 6 now. Right in players in the run frame here. So we've got 2-on-2 up to the top, and now everybody talks about and okay, they're gonna banjo that thing up. We just run a little rub concept with layers, right? Just levels there, and that's pretty dang simple, right? And again, we just get extra. We are going to read an in the box fill player, who we've defined as the deuce with the card code system, right? So this is our deuce. If he triggers to fit his run gap in the box, we're going to pull and throw. We don't like this up here. They got 2-on-2, even though they are ready for the screen and go Fox play, but that's not what we're talking about tonight, right? Right here, we see he takes a step, you're going to see even the overhang gets caught with his eyes in the backfield, right? And we just throw a 2 ball on the seam, right? And we break a tackle and go get in the zone. And there's me celebrating right down there. So that's exciting. Good. We like to do that. We like to do that. Okay, same concept now. 5 to block 5. Okay, they got 2 over 2. We're going to read the deuce. Same seam hitch, right? And if we don't get the hitch, we'll burst to the void, right? So we'll settle in and burst. But again, same concept, guys. I mean, seam hitch has been thrown in football for decades. That's nothing new, right? Now we're just tagging that in with our run schemes, making. Okay, now here's what we tell our guys if we've got a fill read, right? So we're reading the deuce, we're reading a player who is in the box, right? We tell the running back, as soon as you feel the ball pulled out of your stomach, you go from ball to backer, almost like you just became a fullback running ISO, really is what that turns into. So if we get anything that's muddy, right, we tell our quarterback, we give to live, and if we don't like it, just go follow and let us snap the ball next play. Don't force anything, right? There's no such thing as a bad run here. And if you've already pulled the ball out of the belly of the back, we teach that back to go ISO up that backer. So we're now sound for a quarterback follow. So he pulls it. He doesn't like what he sees, right? He's getting color in his face. This guy is drifting out there. Nice no-hitter, right? But we want to go ahead and follow that tailback. So now we can turn that into just quarterback ISO, quarterback follow if we are reading the deuce. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to read a force player, right? Okay, 2 by 2 to the access side. They've got 5 in the box. We got 5 to block 5. We called this here to be a force read. So we're reading the queen. We're reading the queen. So that apex player outside the box, he steps to the run. We're looking to take the space that he vacated, right? We can throw a nice little 2 ball and like to see a little bit more pace on that ball, right? 2 over 2. 5 against 5. Where can they get +1 from? He can be the 6th man to the run fit. He stays out. Now, he doesn't step to the run fit. He flat foot reads. And I just talked about this, right? I talked about how if he doesn't move, give the ball. Watch what happens here. Watch what he does. He gets his angle out run, right? And he doesn't get in on the tackle. So he stands still, give the football, right? Now, again, we saw a screenshot of this. 2 over 1 to the access. We don't like it. We got 6 to block their 6. Their 7th hat can be right here. He's the queen. Okay, he opens to our number 2 receiver. He is all the way out. So we've got our 6 to block their 6, and our back is a free runner. And he is free. He's out of there. Now, even if he got tackled by first contact on that concept, right, the first potential angle that was a bad angle that got outrun was at 12 yards, right? We're going to take a run play for 12. All right. Number 4, right. Got a bang post on to number 1. They're going to give it to us, and our guy's better than that. Toes, go take it, right? Again, we're giving our quarterback the tools to fix things, right? He doesn't have to. We build the car. We give him these things. We're good to go, right? But we can only do that by giving ourselves a common language to speak, right? We can only give that to the quarterback if we can teach it and he can learn it. Doesn't matter what we know. Matters what they know. Okay, here we go. They were ready for the stack screen, right? Because we'd run it against them the year prior. And then if that ball is keeping us a runner, we're scoring right there. But again, that's still a good spot for us to be in, right? Well, 6. Here's 3rd and 6. Again, this is leverage and grass. 3rd and 6. Okay, that's a big pressure down for them. Look at that 3rd down. Here's the bare front, right? And we are presenting like we've got a 7-man surface going on here, right? We've got 2 backs plus our H. Now we push motion out. They don't adjust. He shuffled 1 time, but he's out leveraged. Okay, we're going to catch the ball and get it to the best athlete. in space. Okay. We had a runoff there by the guy at the bottom. He can make a guy miss. Okay. And now we're going for 27, right, on 3rd and 6. That helps us. That helps us. Okay. So now let's talk about third level players, right? Third level players. I have heard some people say, hey, you can't read third level players, right? That's all just hard sell play action stuff. It may be, it may not be, but what we've done is we've given our guys the opportunity, if that cat is going to come down and play the run, we give them the chance to pull the ball and go ahead and sling it. So where's the safety? Okay, he's right there. He's right there. So we're one-on-one against a corner, again, with a kid who's going to go play college football, lined up at receiver. We don't believe you can cover him one-on-one, right? And our rule on the glance, again, that's just glance posts for us. That's just glance posts. The rule on glance for us is just get 2 yards inside the dude that's over you. Now, let's watch this real quick, because now they try to press the boundary a little bit with a harder alignment, right? There's the safety down in the box. Safety's in the box. If we get hard inside leverage, okay, and we're not going to be able to get 2 yards inside of him, we just tell him, hey, this is a win vertical. You're going to go threaten his inside. You're going to go stack him, and you're just going to go win vertical, right? Arm over, stack him, give him a healthy 80-20 ball, right? That's not a 50-50 ball for us. Okay. Now, last thing, let's talk first level dudes. Okay. This is just extended triple option. You know, we have done some stuff where we throw downfield routes off of this, right? But the first few were just screen structures. So some people call it the RSO, not a RPO, right? But we're throwing it forward. We're getting passing stats. We're reading the end man on line of scrimmage here. What's he do? He's going to squeeze. Now, secondary force is coming, right? The queen is coming. So there's 2 off the edge. We're going to pull and pop out, okay? Now, we're going to get 2 blocking 2. And on 1st and 10, backed up on the -6, we get 10, right? So that's good for us. We like that, okay? They're giving us numbers. Now, 3rd and 4, big pressure down for the team we're seeing here, okay? 3rd and short to medium, okay? Now, the king, and man on line of scrimmage, keep, read. He shuffles down. We tell our quarterbacks, if you can see the outside ear hole of the end man on line of scrimmage, pull it. Okay, because that means his head's completely turned down inside. Now, the human head, right, weighs 12 pounds, but you put a helmet on it too, right? Now we're talking significantly more, maybe doubling in weight in some cases. So as I turn and I'm getting my head down into this run fit, if I'm giving the quarterback my outside ear hole, it becomes really hard to be able to turn myself back around and go play that quarterback as he pulls the ball and gets out fast and flat. So if we're looking in the outside ear hole, we tell him pull it. Now, the second man off the edge is just kind of floating there. Our quarterback sees we've got him leveraged. He's just going to pull it and sling it out there. Okay, we get him leveraged. We go cover color. Okay, number 1 receiver doesn't do a good enough job, or else we're scoring right there, right? That's a minus on the grade sheet for him. But it's, again, we're putting these extra fitters, right? When they have one more than we do, we find a way to move the ball faster than the defender to make them wrong. Okay, when we're talking extended triple option, again, he's leveraged. We have a screen out to number 1 right now. He is leveraged. We've got 2 against 1, 1, 2 against 1 to the screen. Okay. We got a score here. No, that's not a good enough job. We need to get in the weight room. He was a junior, right? But again, we just make the ball move faster than them. So anytime we're reading an end man on the line of scrimmage, again, we want to try to get the quarterback out of the pocket so he doesn't take any free hits, right? John Gruden, ridiculous protection offense, right? We don't want to let first-level players take shots on our quarterback. So we'll move him fast and flat out of the cup, okay? And then, again, it's extended triple option or basketball. It's fast break. You just got to make the ball move faster than the defenders that are coming to fit it. By the way, the kid who threw that last one and the kid who's about to throw this one, okay, little shift, okay, little motion, right? And now we'll slide ourselves out. Again, here's the king coming down. We can see in his outside ear hole. We're coming fast and flat. Now, this is our number 2's in right now, and it was on the last snap as well, right? So it's not just, hey, we've got a special kid at starter that can do this. We teach every quarterback in our program to do this, and he shouldn't tuck the football here until he's past the line of scrimmage, but he pulls it back out. First color shows because it's a loaded option concept. 2v1 to the screen. They got nobody else in the frame. We're going to go get it. All right, we're going to go get it. All right, so that's
Coach,
the film
Coach,
there,
I got a
fellas.
question here for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, you got one question here. What do you tell the quarterback when facing the 3 safety defense when you can't tell if the third guy is in the fit?
Right. And that's for us going to be a big game plan thing. Lucky for us, we don't have to line up against PJ yet, right? Like you guys had to in the IB, right, G, with those 3 safety defenses.
Right.
And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that come our way yet. But that's actually been my biggest study this off season is just, and I actually called PJ the other day and was like, hey, we got to talk about this because I got to find a way to beat you, right? And so as we look at it, when we are getting 3 safety defense and when we don't know who's going to fit and we don't know, we got to look at it first from personnel. Like, can this dude come in and be a significant disruptor, right? Is he going to get to the fit from depth and then meet us at 3 yards and we're going to fall forward for 2 and it's a gain of 5? Because I'm going to live with that give, right? If I can get 5 yards every time I hand the ball off, I love that, right? But if he's going to fit and he can now meet us at 2, okay, and he can tackle us where he meets us and we're now 2nd and 8, we've really got to rely on film study and game plan. Now, film study and game plan, they can be really veritable, right? They can vary where that extra fitter is going to come from. We've got to be able to give our quarterback identifiable tools as to, okay, so you saw in that one video I had where there's a flat line drawn and the safeties were on different levels. And though they appear to be presenting too high, we know that the guy below the line's inverting, the guy above the line is spinning to the deep third, right? And we know where the spoke of the coverage is on the tip. We can do that to an extent. Now, if we're really in a mess and we don't know what the heck's going on, PJ and I are going to have to jump on the phone and get on the board and talk about this again, right? So, PJ, if you're listening, be ready. The thing that I'm going to answer that with are condensed sets, like tight twins and bunch. And if I have the personnel, I'm going to answer it with 12 personnel and force them to now show me where this extra fitter is going to come from because I've condensed myself and I'm going to now be able to create some more gaps and threaten them. And something else that's also going to help us do is create leverage to the flat quickly. So if we do get an extra fitter, now we can just spit the ball out quickly to the flat because we brought them in by alignment and we can beat them to leverage into space, if that makes sense. You still there?
Yes, sir.
All right, here, I've got one thing we could probably show to illustrate one of the things I'm talking about here. Let's see, it's a longer one, so I didn't want to. All right, here we go. Nope. Okay, so here's a look at a squeeze set, right? So in a squeeze set, if we've got 3 safeties, right, they've got to now start to declare a little bit sooner because we have more imminent threats in the run fit, right? And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about throwing like stick concepts or flood concepts. This was a stick concept here. Off of a first level player read, right? So I'm pulling the ball off this king. He shows me his outside ear hole. Okay, I'm going to come out fast and flat. And now look, we've got stick set up, right? I've got a stick route sitting here, and now I'm going to run this guy to the flat, right? And so if we now run into an issue and we see that extra fitter coming to our call side, we're going to go ahead and run something similar to this out of a set that looks like this to answer that. What else we got?
Let me see. Does anybody have any questions? Drop them in the chat. You can see the questions too, right? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I got this. I'm gonna open it up so everybody can see it. Yeah, feel free to jump on and ask questions. Coaches, any questions? Feel free.
Yeah, fellas, go ahead and shoot, man. I didn't think I was going to finish under an hour, and we knocked that thing out. Let's go. Feeling accomplished right now.
Yeah, one dude is raising his hand, but I just asked him what the question was. Someone said you're a rock star.
Oh man, that's too much. I appreciate you.
Let's see. Yeah, feel free. Any mesh concepts? Oh, there's a few questions coming in.
Mesh concepts. So yeah. We carry several mesh concepts. We can tag mesh a couple different ways, and but yeah, I don't have that pulled up for you. I just pulled up the RPO stuff tonight. But yes, we love mesh. Mesh with the sitter over the top, mesh with the post dig, what the air raid guys would call mesh pyramid. We're playing with something right now where we're going to be in a condensed set, in a bunch set, and we're going to send number 1 to the corner, the point man on a deep out. We'll send the fullback or the F, number 3, on a shoot. No, I'm sorry. Number 3 will be on the over in the mesh. The boundary number 1 will be on the shallow, and we'll put the back on the shoot. It's almost flood out of the bunch plus mesh. We like that in the red zone if we can get a few picks for some guys. Specific footwork you give your quarterback on the triple option read. So that depends on where the back is aligned. Some of it, like last year, we did a lot out of the pistol, right? And in 2015, we were exclusively pistol. And so we used the same drop and cock footwork that Alt used with Kaepernick, right, at Nevada. It's that same stuff that Kaepernick used when he was with the Niners in San Francisco. When we were running the read option piece, we would call it drop and cock. So we move off the midline, we give the back his track, right, and then we are cocked at an angle, right? So we can actually, here, let me do this real quick. Where's that QB school? All right. Good thing I pulled up the whole thing here. Okay. So here's a good look at some of the footwork we used, and we sent this to our quarterbacks. Right here. So when we were pistoled up, right, we would drop and cock. Our quarterbacks would end up like this, cocked at an angle of the line of scrimmage, moved off the midline, giving the back his path. When we were running something across the face, we just call it punch and jab. And then if you're true, like if we're not going to be all the way across face, like outside zone or counter action out of this set that you can see down here at the bottom, right? We're just going to open. We're going to open our left foot here in this scenario and step with our right foot. We're not going to shuffle down into the mesh, right? Because if we want to pull it, we want to have enough depth to win with speed on that angle. Because sometimes you'll see some defensive ends that are more athletic than your quarterbacks. If you don't have a dude that's a cat back there, that's a big time athlete. So you want to give yourself space to win with angles, right? So that would be a look at the drop and cock footwork right there. And I tied some videos in with the kids, but anyhow, yeah. So that's a good look at it right there. That's the footwork piece. Nice. Any other questions here?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to see the chat here.
Do you have a tag or a way to communicate to the O-line if they have an H or a Y front side on inside zone duo concept?
Okay, so when we have our offensive line call come in, whether it's a code word from the quarterback or whether it's a signal from an offensive line coach, because we've done them both, right? We do have a different word, like for instance, right, zoom versus zip or zoom versus zap, right? And so it sounds the same and it lets them know what we're doing, right? But at the end of the day, we're communicating that quickly. We actually haven't had a rule in the last couple of years where if we're running, true inside zone, where we're leaving the end man on the line of scrimmage against a 4-1 box or a 3-2 5-man box of any structure, where we're going to rock back the tackle. Like we haven't incorporated that in the last 2 years, but that's the way we let them know it's in. So for the last 2 years, it hasn't been different at all for our offensive line if we are a 5-man or a 6-man zone concept.
Do you have specific footwork that you give your quarterback on your triple option read?
Right. That was the one I covered with the slides. That footwork we use depends on where the back's aligned.
Besides the 3 high safety look, what's the one thing defenses do that gives you fits?
So at the end of the day, Jimmy's and Joe's, right? It's
Yep.
football. So if they can line up and they got dudes that can come out and press us at corner and press us in the slot, and they can beat us dude for dude, it doesn't matter what we're running. So at the end of the day, it's always Jimmy's and Joe's. We have a few things that we can do that we believe we can do with shift in motion to kind of get guys in space when we see press man teams that can really disrupt us and overload the box. But at the end of the day, if Jimmy's and Joe's aren't equal, it's going to be a long night.
How many runs do you have RPOs tagged onto?
Right now, 4. Right now we have 4, and when I say runs, I mean run frames, run systems, right? Because the offensive line doesn't know, we don't have a word for offensive line to say, hey, there's an RPO on this. They need to know that it's their job to block the first level first. Their job is to handle the first level, let linebackers come to them. And the only time they're off on linebackers right now is if that dude is sparking or that dude is walked up, right? And so we want to try to, I heard somebody say this and it was phenomenal. I can't remember where, so I can't give credit, but if you're facing a down lineman in a double team and that backer isn't sparking right now and that backer isn't walked up, you got to treat that 3 technique like you're trying to move a fire hydrant. You got to step into that thing and root into the first level, let the second level come to you. So we don't have guys downfield. I got off topic there for a second, but what I'm getting back to is our O-line doesn't know if it's run pass option or if it's locked run or if it's triple option or what. So when I say we have 4 runs that we are working, if we've got duo, counter, outside zone, and, lock or ISO, right, then at the end of the day, we could have off of those 4 variations, right? But we only carry 4 run systems to help our O-line get really good at what they do because they don't know if it's RPO or not. They just got to execute their run system.
Are you tagging one or the other side or both, or is the gift built in?
Good question. So they've got to know call side, away side rules, right? And I kind of stole that verbiage from like the 4-2-5 split field stuff, right? Is it the away side or is it the call side? And the way we package that up and the reason we call it call side and away side is because is it the side the quarterback is reading, call side, or is the side that his post-snap read is away from? And they got to know based on the way we install our system, am I away or am I call? And so if I'm on the away side, I know automatically if there's only one of me, I got a gift, right? If there's 2 of me, we will decide game plan that week and we can adjust on the sideline if we want to. If there's 2 of us, we got hitches. If there's 2 of us, we got, quick screen to number 1. If there's 2 of us, we got bubble screen number 2. Whatever our game plan is for that week, we carry those as automatics, right? So that gift is built in and we only tag the other side. And we tagged the other side for the U16 kids just so they knew, like, if we called, 2 laser bend, they knew, okay, the 2 side, the right side has the bend concept. And we taught them what bend meant because we tied it into our quick game. But back home, like when we really want to do this thing and we really want to go fast, it's all just one word, right? So if we're running like a laser concept where it's a lead concept and we want everybody running, the bend, we would call something like lasso, or we would call it labor, or we would call it an L word, and we'd have a different L word for the route tags. So we just have one signal and go, right? And so it's 2 locked, 2 lost, 2 lasso, 2 labor, 2, lingo, whatever you want, right? And so we didn't even add a tag. We just went one word so we could just go fast.
Is there anything specific you try to do against teams that play man, motion, compressed sets, etc.?
Motion. Stress them, not just the motion across, but motion across and back. And we will line up in compressed sets. So they've got to now read it. We put them as much indecision as we can create for a team that wants to play us press man. We're going to try to do it. So compress sets, full speed motions, over and back motions, depending on what their answer is. Are they going to rock roll safeties, right? Are they going to run with it? And now we're going to get leverage and we can pick some guys off. And then a lot of rub concepts, man. We are going to try to rubbing is racing, right? And so we are, I'll say it for you defensive guys out there, we're picking dudes, right? But we're running through it. We're rubbing.
What do you feel in the RPO game is the best to attack the stack if they are one high?
All right. So if they're one high, what we've done, it depends because we've gotten cover three primarily and a little bit of one, but we talk some people out of one. Our best 5-man scheme to the stack, and we would read the backside stack would be the map concept, where you're the man at the point of attack, pulling your backside guard through, right? And so you're gonna base the play side tackle. You're going to combo the center guard to the stack. You're going to wrap the backside guard for the play side stack. You're going to B-gap hinge the backside tackle, and you're going to read the backside stack to throw slant or something like that and try to win there. The other thing we've done is we take that same scheme, that map scheme, and we'll attach a tight end to force them now to walk a guy up and take somebody out of an adjuster role, or they've got to break the stack. So they've got to make a choice, right? And so we would walk that tight end, attach the tight end, and we would run that same map concept. So what we've seen teams do is they'd either break the stack and take the strong side stack and walk him into whether, it's an 8 or a 9, and we base him with the tight end. We base the play side tackle with the 4. We're going to take the guard and center to now what is the backside inside linebacker because they broke the stack for us because of that tight end. Wrap the backside guard for the play side stack, B-gap hinge, and backside tackle. And now we can throw off of wherever their adjuster is. We'll throw a glance to the backside. We'll throw a slant to the backside, or we'll throw, I love stick, right? Just stick with a speed out, or even stick with a dig over the top of it to that 2 remove side to the tray side. But yeah, against stack that's one high, that's tough because they got apexes on both sides. You just got to now make them come out of their balance by going 3-by-1 tight end attached.
Do you still use quick passing game, or do the RPOs take the place of it?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It could be, a comfort thing. There's some times where we know we're getting something and we're just going to call the quick game. That eliminates the exchange. That eliminates the read process. The quarterback just knows I'm going quick game. Where's my movement key? Okay, let's go to
work. What are your favorite downfield throws that go along with this? I think you mentioned flood. I think you mentioned flood earlier.
So it depends which we're talking about, right? So downfield throws, we can pull and throw downfield like on flood if we're reading the king or end man on line of scrimmage, right? I really love that bend concept with the slot glance and number 1 on the fin. I'll go back to that. Let me go back, right? If we go way back. Way back. But as far as like answers, right, and like being all weather, I really like this one right here. So, and it doesn't matter what your 6-man frame is, right? It really doesn't. It could be split flow outside zone, split flow inside zone, cutoff outside inside zone, power counter, GT with a cutoff, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. But right here, this glance, if against a too high structure, if he's getting 2 yards inside him and we're hitting this at 12 on the hash, we're winning. We're good. Now, again, if they've got something where they cap this and take this away, we now have this cat chasing that space on the 5-step in, and he's got to win on that route. He's got to be able to win on that 5-step in. So this is probably my favorite. We actually hit this one for an explosive, for a touchdown, actually, off of an inversion. It was actually this cat inverting against Panama, and we just numbers leverage grass and hit this dude on the run and let him go for had to be 30, 35. So yeah, that's my favorite all-weather two-man concept. To a three-man side, let me give you my favorite three-man side here real quick. My favorite three-man side, again, all-weather concept. We're talking about multiple coverage answers. Okay, is this one that you saw here in the state title game? We got 3 on a stick, 2 on a bubble, and a bang over the top, right? If they don't do something with a backside safety to push over here, they're in trouble. And once they do that, now they're leaving themselves outnumbered to the rest of the frames of the field, right? So here's the tag side. We got a glance. Again, same rule, 5 steps, 2 yards inside the dude over you. If he's pressed, you stack them, win vertical. We've got a bubble, and if they've got this cat, so if this cat was down in here, splitting 2 and 3, and this cat was now able to fringe the box, and this safety's over here, more of a base quarter structure, right? Now we might get leverage with him if he's pressed in man, and they're going to play the triangle over 2, and we leverage this. Now we got it. Sometimes we get this dude uncovered, and we just stand up and throw him like access. So those are my 2 all-weather favorite. Yeah.
Do you have any QB power plays to complement RPOs and options?
Okay, so listen, how do I get this whiteboard? Let me see here. I'm just going to play with this one. Pardon me, coaches. I'm just going to go here for a second. Okay, so we looked at this last year. It was in one of our studies, and we had our and so that concerned us a little bit. And so we were looking at this. Now, I'm going to delete all this stuff here. And now just imagine power in the box. Power in the box for me, okay, coaches. But not just power where we're getting this. So if we're getting power where that's pulling through, we were also, and it was off these down blocks here. So we could handle anything here. Now, again, I got to take this end out. I'm going to get CD. What we did and what we looked at, power plus the tailback, right? Plus the tailback, and we're running number 3 across the field here. And our read became the invert to the boundary. So everybody's running, it's basically 4 verticals, right? 4 verticals rules. Quarterback was just running over here. If he didn't like it. So we go 4 verticals rules. We'd run a bender by 3, right? Use this thing and take him here, right? And we were reading this cat. So now this is our guy that we were going to read on quarterback power, right? And so sorry for the botched up drawing. I didn't have this one prepared because we didn't run it, right? But that was now our guy that we were going to read, running him on the bender, and then these 2 cats just run off verticals. So that would be the quarterback power that I like the most out of Nub with an offset back. The quarterback's just going to follow. And yeah, if we would have had more depth at the quarterback position, we would have been calling that for sure. Because he just opens and looks at this cat right here and just sees, okay, you know, you've got power coming. You've got the tight end's kicking out. You've got, you know, the guard pulling around. You've got the tailback through to handle, you know, structures is going to be here.
Yeah, one more here, Coach. Would you teach your slot receiver on 4 verts to get 2 yards inside the man over in a 2 safety look?
In this 2x2 open?
Coach Allen.
I'm assuming that's the number 2 receiver in 4 verts to the bender side, right? Like, so that's the number 2 receiver on the bender. Yes, that is what we teach. Whichever number 2 has the bender. So if we're in 3x1, right? If we're in 3x1, if we're in 2x2, whatever, whoever is running the bender, it's too high. He's got to get 2 yards inside that safety. Yes, correct. And that doesn't matter if you're in 2x2 open. You got your bender coming from the boundary. You got your bender coming from the field. 3x1, where number 3 is running to the opposite hash, and number 2 now has to make that adjustment off of the field safety. Yes, 2 yards inside the safety to the side of the bender.
On the Q powers, the quarterback showing pass and hitting it like draw, or vice versa.
Correct. He's going to catch this thing right here, right? He's going to catch it. He's going to stand up and look like pass just so he can identify the extra hitter, right? He's just going to identify where that read player comes from. This would be what we would call a jack read, right? So we'd be here. Okay, so the safety, third level player to the call side of the play, we're going to go ahead and say he bails. I'm going to now tuck the ball and hit it like draw. And that actually helps it time up better anyway, right? If you're running Q power out of Wildcat or you're just running Q power, you usually have your guy catch the ball, shuffle, and then hit it downhill. This is the same timing as that. Catch, rise, identify the read, throw it if it's there. If it's not, find the inside leg of that guard and let's go to work.
Good deal. Anybody else have any questions? I like that play a lot, man.
It's filthy. It is just, yeah. I wasn't prepared for it. I'd have had the cut up ready, but man, that as far as a quarterback run RPO, we didn't run that with any of our U16 kids. Like I said, this presentation is the same presentation we've used to install an RPO system, an RPO process, a skeleton, if you will, at 2 national high school training camps now with the U.S. national team. Hopefully, if we have another one this summer, it'll be 3 in a row. This is the exact same playlist, the exact same cut-ups we use with our U16 kids. And then, again, these were our quizzes that we built for them, just identifying all those things, just giving them a chance to look at these screenshots and say, okay, who's my dude, right? Who's my dude? What technique am I using? How many do I have to block how many, right? And they just, we're there, right? We're there.
That's good stuff right there, Coach. Are you able to share a version of the Read School to us?
I can share a watered down version. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to share just kind of the steps of the process. Yeah, I can just trim out a few slides and share some to you.
So, yeah, that'd be awesome. Anybody else? Last minute questions for Coach? Coach, while they're doing that, another question: is this presentation available anywhere? YouTube, PowerPoint, etc.
What we're gonna do is I'll just make a PDF copy of this presentation. I'll chop some things out of it for us, and then I'll share it to Coach G. He'll just toss it in the drive, and we'll be good. I see Coach Roby. Thanks, man. Thanks, Coach.
Coach is wondering if you're tying R4 into this because you'd mentioned the hard deck and capped.
Right. We're not all in R4 in that sense. Like, I'm not an R4 member or anything. Dub wants to give me a free membership during my lockdown. I'm good. I'll take it, Dub. But, we take some of these concepts that like when you hear something and you go, okay, that makes sense. That's now operative language. We can teach faster now if we understand this concept. Like, I love Dub stuff about, creating a common language for quarterbacks and coaches to be speaking the same language, using the same terms for the same thing. So we can now transfer the knowledge from us to kids. But I mean, some of our best adjustments have been kids coming off the field telling us, hey coach, we're getting this perfect. And if we're speaking the same language, we know exactly what they're talking about. So things like hard deck and capped, and vertical columns and tubes, right? Like we talk about those all the time, but we aren't like a pure R4 system. But again, I got multiple books that Dub Maddox has written, and that R4 system is phenomenal. We just haven't gone all in with it.
Good deal, Coach. How can they reach out to you? You want to share your contact information or
yeah, man. Yeah. Let's talk right here. Here we go. There it is. There we go. Email coach.t.souza@gmail.com. My Twitter, coach_T_Souza. That's us. That's where we're at.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. I agree. Everybody. Thanking you and telling you this has been great. I posted a couple times while you were talking, man. You're on fire. You're on fire tonight for sure.
Oh man, hey man, I don't have to worry work in the morning with the lockdown, so I could get the chili hot, and doesn't matter what time I go to sleep now.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll have to get another talk with you next week or something.
Absolutely. Man, all right. I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, shoot, we got time, right?
Listen, 21 days, baby. 20 days now. 20 days. Whew.
That is crazy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all make sure, once again, man, y'all make sure to reach out. You know what I mean? If, coaches are willing to share their contact information, use it. Ask any questions, man. Set up individual talks, whatever it is. It's going to get us better, everybody. So continue to do that, man. So we continue to grow and learn together and all that good stuff. So, Coach, man, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you jumping on with us and talking some ball. So that was great.
Absolute pleasure. Oh, go Jacks. I see you